Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, we start the penultimate week of the year, yes, 2 weeks to Christmas, with a map from one of the most loved, I mean, we're talking pure love from the community for this creator. Now, if you remember the map pack that we had a while ago, well, this is the creator of that map pack. Also, you might be aware we have a map pack coming out tomorrow, and the creator of tomorrow's map pack is being featured on Wednesday's show. Not by chance, these were just maps that were performing so well on the workshop that we had to do them this week. We're going to follow up today's first map with a map from a creator we've done several times in the past. If you like Middle America builds and you like a good solid basic game, we've got a good solid map coming up straight after this. But first of all, one of these. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Right, today's first map, look at that. That's freaking art, so that is. Shattered Island by Sanctum Gamer. Sanctum Gamer, if you happen to be watching this, why would you, but if you happen to be watching this, absolutely gorgeous top-down design there. Start Square looks very playable to me, loving the blending and the fade on the trees as well. Terrain heights is pretty buildable. We've just got one mountain and a lot of coastline. It's definitely an island map. Lots of resources, no complaints there as well, very nice. And if you happen to have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's okay. It's a bit of a mix of fish going on in there. Okay, off to the workshop. Oh, what do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. And then there's a short list of requirements on the right-hand side there, including the, what was the theme? I've got it there. Seychelles map theme, that's the one. And the Relight Film LUT today. There we go, with a little bit of tweaking. Now, the requirements, there are 3 ferns missing. Now those 3 ferns are the same asset that's just missing off of the requirements list. That's the tropical areca fern. So I haven't subscribed to this. It wasn't on the list and it wasn't one that I had already. So yes, if you're watching this, Sanctum Gamer, that needs to be added to the requirements list. I don't know how much is missing in the detailing on today's map, but as it's not listed, I guess it's going to be missing for everybody, and so that's how we rate these maps, as they would appear if you didn't know any better. It's all part of the package. The map and the workshop all come together. Now this is a very, very sexy little map. I'm going to say it. It's very nice. Nicely designed, really very sweet. Lots of little interesting areas, lots of islands, many of which I'm not even going to show you today. If you really want to have a look at the map, just, you know what to do, just subscribe to it. Give a little like up on the workshop as well while you're doing it and have a closer look. So if I'm flying over an area, or if I miss an area that you're interested in, go and have a look yourself. I promise you it'll be worth it. However, there are some minor niggly bits on today's map. It's just, I mean, the first one you're going to spot all on your own, without any help from me. Even if you've never seen WhatMap before, you're going to see something and you're going to go, what? I mean, a few of you are going to say, that was a niggly bit right there, wasn't it, BonBon? Yes, but we're going to be looking at something like that a bit later on. No, I'm talking about a very in-your-face, can't miss it niggly bit that even if you took over map reviewing today and just went in there head first, I promise you would spot this. And there are a few other slightly less noticeable niggly bits across the map. I'll point out a couple of them. It's not the worst. Look, okay, it's not the worst. We're not going to break a sweat over this. The map, if you like the map, there's nothing on this map that's going to stop you wanting to play it. Because little thing, like the niggly bits that you can see, this first one, it's so fixable with just the bulldozer tool, and that's quite often the case. You don't need, even if you don't have Move It, and why wouldn't you have Move It? You should go and get Move It. It's a mod you definitely want if you've never used it. But if you haven't got Move It, then just the bulldozer will fix this first niggly bit. Anyway, big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge. So that's there for the BonBonBingo players. And you might notice a welcome mat. Also a little splash of blue mantle under there as well. Okay, well, that I hadn't spotted earlier, but this I did. I was distracted by this. The welcome mat. This is fuzzy. It's just fuzzy. Anyway, we've got a slight encroachment of foliage there as well, but that first one was the big one. It's just a bit fuzzy. Now it might just be because of anarchy settings, and I'm showing what's on the underside. As always, the underside of the highways, because trees and props underneath the highways are part of the tree and the prop count. But so I'll let them show through. Maybe that's what's happened there. Maybe, I don't know. We've got some very sexy, again, there's another word there, sexy intersections on today's map. This one's a very sweet one, lovely sweeping one. Good pillar placement as well with the rail going over it. It's just very tidy, very, very tidy. And then we're heading down towards the start square. So yeah, when I had a look at this map at first, and those BonBon buddies that watch the schedule show, you'll see me talking about the screenshots. I stand by a lot of what I said during the schedule show, but I'm slightly less stressed now I've seen the map down at ground level. But I say stressed isn't the word, but you know, it's slightly less stressing of the points that I made there, because those ones we can only make decisions based on the screenshots off of the workshop. There's your start square anyway. I'm liking that. I'm liking the shape of the trees and the way it just sort of like entices you to want to build into that area. It's quite neat. A little bit of glitching on either side of the highway entrance, so that is elevated at ground level. Roads that are just forcing a little dent into the environment. It's happened before, it'll happen again, but I have to show it. And this is, look at this for a sexy intersection. This one, I wasn't sure about that one. I don't mind it actually where it is. It does feed a highway around this way, which actually I quite like that one. I do feel we are a little bit down here over networked. On this particular map, I feel that this, and then this, and then the loop there, and then we've got two highways. We've got one that runs on the mainland, one that runs around the outer ring as well. I just feel there's a little bit too much going on there. And it distracts me a little bit from the beauty of the map, which is just a beauty of a map. Just how I'm reading it. I think just I mean, I can't tell you exactly which roads I would have taken out, but I just feel just a little bit too much pre-existing networking in that area there. The rail's very slick and high standards. Again, it's Sanctum Gamer. You're expecting slick and high standards, and that's what we're getting. It's an interesting route, liking the way that's being cleared as well, so nothing's overhanging the rail, and it's just good work. It's just good work. Rail over road in a very clean and tidy manner, and we're heading now down towards the start square area. Don't think it actually goes into the start square, but it does go down the next tile, the next tile, the next tile, there you go. That heads off down. Again, nice swooping and change. And look at this now, look at this. One-way rail tracks. The catenaries are slap bang middle. If only they were on the other sides. That would fix that, in my opinion. But anyway, are we worried? Probably not. Anyway, that heads down there to the dead end, maybe harbour down that area, maybe, possibly. Now, underwater detailing on this map is just lovely. I mean, I'm liking the lumps and the bumps. I wasn't sure that I would, but actually I am loving them. And here, you can see that this is like just an abyss. It just drops straight down. You can see how the rockiness just like drops into the depths and the darkness of the oh, but if you have a look under the water, it's actually a little hill. It comes up rather than down. That said, that doesn't matter because it's the aesthetics that matter, because you're not going to be looking under the water. I just think that's a little bit unusual, a little bit different, and it definitely works, even if it works in a way that doesn't make any sense to me, but it does. Underwater detailing with these rocks, I don't know. I'm unsold on this. I appreciate what's been done, and the thing is, it's consistent across the map. And consistency, I'm a big fan of saying, look, if you do something, you do it consistently across the map, you can buy into that. And I can. I'm just not sure that I do totally. I don't know. And it's just the way that it's been done. I have no problem with underwater rocks. But it's consistent, and I applaud the consistency of that across the map. But yes, while we're looking at the water, let's have a little look at the shipping routes. That's the resources. There we go. Right, so shipping routes. No shipping triangles really to speak of. It's all right angles, which means you're going to be seeing a little bit of right angle shipping across the map. Where the routes go are pretty strong. Oh, this gets very close here to the rocks. I would have had that a little bit. I'm imagining that rock, the rock was extended at some point when they were putting the rail down, and they forgot they had a shipping route going through there. That's what I imagine's happened there. Then we have another shipping route comes around here, and again we've got right angle type turns that are just a little bit distracting, I feel, if you're sat there watching ships in the distance and they're doing silly stuff. And another little right angle there. So yes, no shipping triangles on this particular map. Water flow in the start square doesn't matter because we have two separate sources. We have this bay here, and then we have the wider bay down there. And I say that that is exactly how it should be. Perfect. Okay, now, like I say, there's so much on this map I could take you to, like all those little islands skirting, the Fiji-style islands around the outside. We're not going to look at those. Go and have a look at those in your own time, okay? We've got a little lake with rocket and hole in. That's for the BonBonBingo players. Link is still in the description. A few trees growing through the rocks there in terms of detailing. Maybe they were a little afterthought. Sometimes trees growing through rocks can make sense. It doesn't for me on that one. Little dry river here, which is a little bit quirky. Apparently, the river managed to find a way of eroding holes through the rocks there. But wouldn't it have gone around the outside? Yes, it would have done. But you know what? I like it. It's a bit of fun. All right. Got a little bit of digitization. Could be just softly worked along there. I think that could be added. Then you may notice along here we've got a little pillar that's just encroaching on the underside of this highway here. A little bit of terrain glitching there as well. And a splash of blue mantle down here also. So like I say, it's a map. I told you it's really very sexy, and there's nothing here that's going to stop you wanting to play it, especially this. Oh, it's a castle. Look, as castles go, I love this. It's one of my favourites. One of my absolute favourites. Sanctum Gamer, one of my absolute favourite castles. Loving the way you've done the rock work here and have this perched on the side. So there's nothing on this that's going to stop you wanting to play it, but there are definitely some little niggly bits that need to be cleaned up if you are going to be playing it and you want like perfect detailing. Or if you don't care about perfect detailing, this map is perfect for you, which is what it's all about, making your own decisions. Anyway, what do you think of Shattered Island by Sanctum Gamer? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Shattered Island. Right, what do I think of Shattered Island by Sanctum Gamer? Well, aesthetically, this is very nice. The top-down design is just beautiful. I would have this as a t-shirt design. So nice. I like it a lot. I'm going to go slightly above middle 4. Detailing. This is one of those tricky ones. There's a lot. I like this is a 4-star for detailing map, but there's a lot of niggly stuff on it. A lot of niggly stuff that brings it down. I'm not going to drop it into 3 stars. I will punish this map in a different way. I'm going to leave it in 4 stars, but at the bottom end. Gameplay potential. It really does make me want to play it. It really does. Again, I think that's a bit too much networking for my personal taste. So I'm going to go towards the bottom end of 4 stars, but it's still going to get 4 stars. So 4, 4 and 4, that's got to be a seal of approval, hasn't it? Well, I'm going to punish it by not giving the seal of approval, because nobody cares about the seal of approval, do they? Really? But it's still a very nice map. It's Shattered Island Sanctum Gamer. And we've got another one coming up right up after this intermission. And so back to today's second map, the longest waiting creator request map. And if you like those lovely pretty autumnal maps, then you might like this one. If you like Middle America maps, where it's flat and there's not much going on, but you want a nice interesting build, then this is good for you. We've also got some very nice waterways on here as well, and it's just good and strong and a solid map. It won't blow you away like the last one did for aesthetics, but it's not always about that. It's just about having a solid map to build on. Today's second map is Autumn in the Arbuckles by I Can't Think of a Name. Yes, I Can't Think of a Name is back, and again, rock solid map maker. I mean, I've got no other real way of putting it. There's your start square. It's all going on. Its terrain heights are pretty flat on the whole, and where it is lumpy, it's kind of not in the 25 tiles, so there's that. Resources are super strong, really good for gameplay. Do like how that's been set up, so credit for that. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, you've got the mix of anchovies and salmons in those little rivers. I think there's even some shellfish. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it doesn't look like much, does it? Because there's no list on the right. But there is a one-click collection, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Also, there's a little nod there to their Patreon, and I'm going to give them a little shout-out on their Patreon as well when we start doing the flyover. Anyway, we've got the NAF Roads, we've got Tree Anarchy, Oklahoma Summer Theme, with, of course, the realistic 1.2 LUT. We've got a bunch of autumnal-style trees, the old shady trees as well. I haven't seen those for a while, and that's about it really. It's not a super long list, but there are a few bits there to get you occupied. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, they have a Patreon now. I'm not saying that. Look, this we're not talking Sidai, we're not talking Bringer of Fire, we're not talking Wathrudnir, but we're talking about a solid map maker who makes maps and makes maps for fun, and is making maps also by commission. So the thing is, if you're looking at this map and you go, do you know what? This is exactly how I want my map to be. I don't want a heavily detailed map. I don't want a technical wonder. I just want something that's going to be fun to build on. And my local area, there isn't a map quite like it. Well, why not drop a little line to I Can't Think of a Name? Become a patron and ask them, hey, could you just make my area? And kind of like the maps that you've done already. And I'm sure they will, because they're a good guy. They're a good guy. So a little shout out there for somebody else's Patreon. I have a Patreon as well. Of course, my Patreon is going to be even more important to sign up to as of 2023, because there are big changes coming to the channel. Big changes coming to the channel. And so I'm still going to make it all accessible. But there's going to be some stuff that's going to be just a little bit more hidden than it was before. Just a little bit. All right, so it's mostly so I can concentrate on doing, well, we're following the rail. I've forgotten we're following the rail here. We've got some catenary chaos going on there. But yeah, so following the rail, there's roads as well. I didn't know what was the best route to follow here. In fact, I took a right where I should have been taking a left there. So we'll be going back and taking a left in a moment, because I'm just about to realise as I'm flying the camera down that I've taken the wrong turning. That's not where I want to go. I want to go over there. So anyway, yes. If you like my stuff and you're following the channel, watch out for the announcements, because there are some big changes coming. But I want to get some tutorials out. It's been a long while. It's been a bad year. It's about time I got down and did some core work. Anyway, down here we've got some sidings. I don't know if you've noticed them. And everybody's favourite factory. There we go. All there in place. Excuse me. Coughing for singing. A little bit more catenary chaos down here as well, as you probably imagine. I call it chaos. I mean, it's completely ignorable. And if you've got catenary replacer, you could just remove all of them and just say I've got diesel trains or electric trains or not electric trains, live wire trains. You know, the ones ground wires, as I have, down my neck of the woods. Right, okay. Now, in terms of roads, we've got a very nice network of roads. It's not heavily done. It's not overly done. It doesn't... This is the thing. This map doesn't inspire me in any way, but it's an American-style build. And I'd never be attracted to build on a map like this. Doesn't matter how good the map is. It just wouldn't attract me. Got a big old T intersection here as well. But yes, it's beautifully done. Very nicely done intersection there. I have to say that. And another nice little intersection here. I'm liking the way here, because of the elevation, we've allowed for a road to nip underneath and run along the river. That's pretty clean. And that's pretty neat. Pretty clean and pretty neat. And you know what? We're going to follow this up the stream a little bit. Just why not, hey? Why not? So yeah, a lot of trees in the autumnal colours. If you're looking to do an autumnal build for this part of the world, then maybe this is going to be a good map for you. It's all down to your opinion, of course. A few of you might just find this too boring. Again, it's sort of my vibes a little bit, but only because this is just not the sort of topography that really interests me. We've got, it's a castle. Very nicely done, actually. I like that castle. Little dinky one. It's not quite the castle in the last map, but you're not really comparing like for like here, are we? We're not really comparing like for like. There aren't many Sanctum gamers out there. We've got a nice little look. I'm liking the idea for this waterfall. Nice little waterfall going on there with the old rocks. We do have just a little bit of a ridge going on there. It looks like it's dry. It's not. You can see the water's going over it, but because of the way that it ridges, it just looks a bit out of place. And so it's not quite the perfect waterfall, but it's still a nice one. And I could give credit for that. And then if we follow this road up here, I have a little turn off here. This is going to take us to a little viewing area. I don't know if it's like a picnic area or like a national monument area or something. But once you're up here, you've got a great view over the valley. And it's a lovely view. I think I could have a little champagne breakfast up there. That would work. Anyway, pull the camera back. I suppose we should have a look for the shipping routes, because you know there's going to be shipping routes on this map, don't you? Oh yes, that river's all set for shipping routes. Hang on, let's just get rid of that. Let's try that again. I'm not doing too well today. Right, no shipping routes, obviously. Got the air routes, and they crisscross. And so that's going to be fine. You're not going to notice any planes crisscrossing into each other, are you? Are you that kind of person? You sound a bit like me then. Okay. And then you've got water flow in the start square. Doesn't matter too much. We have a river with a little divergence, convergence even. And then, excuse me, and a little lake there as well. So that's all good and golden. So yes, you can pump and draw and you're going to be okay. It's not the super strong, but it doesn't matter. It works, and that's the only thing that matters. Right, I suppose we should take a look. I mean, the field painting is bold and strong. For me, the thing with this map is the bridges. If you have a look at the pillar on that bridge, it's right in the middle of the river. And balancing these bridges out by having a pillar roughly on each bank. I mean, sometimes you'll get a bridge with pillars in the middle. Yeah, singular ones like this. Some of them, maybe. But I feel it's just balancing them out a little bit and having just one pillar at each edge. Like this one here. This one's almost perfect. Almost. Or what I would do here is I think I'd just take the node on this one and I'd move it just a little bit to about there. Something like that. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a quick fix. And I think it's just, I've just made the bump in it, haven't I? But you know what I mean. You get my gist. So anyway, now one last thing to look at. It's a, this could be hand-drawn cloverleaf, or it's maybe a workshop cloverleaf. It's a very nice cloverleaf with the old slip roads there as well. We do, however, I hate to say this, well, we do have nice lane mathematics. Let's give some credit first of all before we say something not too pleasant. Yeah, Blue Mantle. Yeah, we've got Blue Mantle. Now, there is a cause for this, and that cause is the nodes. When you get a node that splits, like here, three-way split, you see here. Try that again. There we go. Here we have 1, 2 and 3, but we're also changing from ground level to elevated, and that for some reason splits the terrain. So it's always a good idea to have like an extra elevated section or an extra land section after you put in a split in the terrain. Sorry, a split in the road. One last thing to have a quick look at, little reservoir up here. There's a little pier up there as well. I think that's very neatly done, very basic and simple, and it's a good shape. It's always very nice work from I Can't Think of a Name. But what do you think? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page. But make sure you're voting on Autumn in the Arbuckles. Okay, what do I think of it? Well, I mean, while I'm not blown away, I don't dislike it. I think it's pleasing enough. Can I give it a 4th star? Not really. Let's go towards the top end of 3 stars. Yeah. Detailing's okay. There's some nice work on here. Is there anything that really elevates it into 4 stars? Again, I'm going to say no, but there's nothing particularly awfully wrong with it. Just a few niggly bits, but we had that in the last map. Can't go into 4 stars. Let's go again. Very high 3. And then gameplay potential. There's going to be somebody here that says it's going to be 5 stars because it's going to be perfect for them. And if that's right, then good. For me, I could play it. I think I'd have a good game on it. But it doesn't really entice. A high 3. High 3s across the board. It's the thing. Yeah, it's not selling itself to me personally. But if you like it, love it, okay? Autumn in the Arbuckles by I Can't Think of a Name. And if you can't think of somebody to make a map for you and you've got a particular thing in mind that's a little bit like this, then you've now got a link to their Patreon as well. Go and support them. Be nice. Have a nice day. All that. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. And thank you to all of those Patreon supporters that I have over on my channel. You are so lovely, and I mean it. Every last one of you, en masse. And if you're still here, you can make a mess of yourself. Use the word of the day. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.